All right. Hello, I'm Sam from Topline Pro. This is Titan Talks. Today I'm talking with Jennifer and Austin Kramer from Kramer Enterprises in DMV. Thank you for coming on the podcast. How's it going?
Thanks for having us. Everything's good.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm start off the way that I feel like I pretty much always do, which is just asking how you two got started in the waste management business and like the origin story of Kramer Enterprises.
Okay. You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we met in college in Maryland, and Jen's dad, he had a demolition company. And so during college, I would work for him. And after college, I was trying to get a job and it just wasn't panning out. And Jen had an idea. Why don't we start hauling like junk, like a junk removal? Because she's seen guys around her dad's business, like they would haul trash for her dad's demolition. And it seemed pretty lucrative and pretty steady. And I was like, well, I never thought of it, so I was just a psychology major. I didn't know anything about it. So we bought a truck from her dad and we started just hauling primarily just for him and then trying to find clients. And then finally we kind of grew and started doing our own just junk.
Yeah.
And we started doing a lot of property management companies in DC, primarily junk. And for a few years, it was just me driving. Jen would help out a lot too. And we did demolition too. So we kind of spread out away from her dad and started just doing our own thing. And then 2019 pandemic, COVID hit, and all these management companies that we were working for, their trash companies weren't picking up because of labor unions or whatever. The guys weren't showing up because they would get paid either way. So they weren't showing up, and we're like, the management company's like, hey, what if you got a trash truck? And we're like, well, I don't know. It's a lot of money. It's a whole thing we don't know about. You got to buy cans, dumpsters, a lot of upfront money. And so what we did is we bought a little trash truck and we started hauling and buying cans from Home Depot, doing whatever we could. And now I think we're up to 15 trucks, and we just bought another garbage truck and we're just grinding. So I know that's kind of a nutshell, but there's a lot in between in there, but it's in a lot of arguments and a lot of gray hair.
Yeah, a lot of learning.
A lot of learning and a lot of debt. But so far it's really going good.
Okay. Yeah, it's a really good summary, and I feel like there's a lot to get into there.
Yeah.
For starters, so when y'all met and Jennifer's dad had the demolition company,
Yeah.
Jennifer, were you involved in the company like for a long time at that point, or was it just something that you'd sort of observed like growing up with him doing this for a living?
Oh no, they owned the company and it started when I was small. So at the end, like at the age of 14, I just started doing like a lot of office work and I saw like the need of an accountant. So my parents were like, hey, like, have you thought about becoming an accountant? So then that's when I went to I took accounting classes in high school. I got a degree in 2 degrees in business management and then another one in accounting and my master's in business administration. So I worked with them the entire time. And even though later on in life, I still managed to get more experience because I've seen if you're not very involved in the company, any accountant just could take advantage of your business because you're so focused outside instead of in the company. So that's where I took a lot of experience outside of our both companies to learn a lot, like the ins and out systems to streamline things and just learn. So yes, I worked with my parents' company for a long time, a few years, and then along the side, I still was working with us. So I was busy, very busy at a young age.
Yeah.
But now you're fully transitioned over to Kramer Enterprises.
Yeah.
So is there any tension like was your dad expecting you to sort of take over and then you split off to do your own thing, or is it all good in the family?
It's all good. But honestly, I don't
That was
think
a good question.
yeah, but honestly, we didn't, when we started, us two were just dating at 2015.
Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't think any of that. Like we're just like, oh, we're just gonna start a company. Our parents were very supportive of it. Um, we're still dating, so I was helping my dad in his business and then focusing in our business. So it was never like a tension, and it's still until now, like I still help him and support him.
So then, so then you two are dating, and Austin, you're a psychology major.
Yeah,
What, I'm just trying to understand like how you get from
I know.
this, like, okay, Jennifer's got all this experience in the sort of like small business
Business.
area.
Yeah.
You see the opportunity for like expanding the business into junk hauling. You're a psychology major. Like, how do you two make the jump to starting your own thing from there?
Well, you know,
We were looking for a job.
yeah, it's just like it was just a weird coincidence of events. Like I saw that just watching Jen and her parents doing their thing, I saw the potential of, hey, I could do that. I could start and I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying I saw a potential of good money and steady work. And I was like, and when she brought it to my attention, I really think she wanted to do that because I was in Virginia at the time and she was in Maryland. So it's her way of getting me up here, and look, it worked.
It was.
It worked.
We were dating.
So it got
We
me
went to school together. Sorry. We
yeah.
went to school together. We graduated, and I didn't want to do that long distance. So then he was finding jobs in his field in psychology
In Virginia.
but the pay was so little. I'm like,
Yeah.
how are we gonna survive? Like, I'm not used to this. So I created a business plan. And I was like, what if? Like, I was like, let's just do this temporarily. Later on, you can get your master's in psychology and continue with your path. But right now, let's like a trial run, see how this goes and see what happens. And then I guess he got addicted to it and he's still
addicted to trash now.
Yeah, we might have to get into the psychological nature of being addicted to whatever, but
Waste man.
so okay, so I you two are the first guests I've had that have done, like, so many businesses are run by couples.
Yeah.
I found that usually, especially on the podcast, it's like one person wants to come on and there's a pretty, like, usually there's like a specialization where like one person is doing most of the boots on the ground work, the other person's sort of in the office. I'm really happy to have you both on the podcast because I think that it's more of like an explicit partnership than I hear about in a lot of the other businesses that I talk to. And it strikes me as interesting that it sounds like your business relationship kind of started very early in your relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess like that's all to just raise like a general question of how do you two work together running this business and how has it sort of shaped like your lives together?
And not kill each other. Well, no, it's weird. We work really well together.
we get asked that question a lot.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of fights, but that
yeah,
it's more of like constructive arguments on how to fix a problem. Because we're both very like we wanted to have our input, but then it comes together and molds into a really good plan. And I think that's what's helped us really. Because dealing in this business, I guess in a lot of businesses with the employees, there's always going to be a lot of drama. And I think our forte is really being calm and talking to everyone. And, I think if you treat people a certain way, they stay with you. We've really grown a team in that way just because if we butt head too much, that the team could see that.
Yeah.
And then I think the whole thing would crumble. So
but I think a big part of ours is communication. One, because many people have asked this question, it has made me think like, okay, how are we making this work? And one, I saw my parents work together. So to my perspective, it was a natural thing. Like my dad was working from home before it was a thing back in the day, like early 2000s. So I saw them communicating and speaking up. And I think me watching that and learning from them has helped us because obviously we try to like have our time as a family and then our work time. So certain times we're like, all right, we have talked a lot about work. Let's switch it up, like let's worry about us. So if we disagree with something, we always try to like talk about it. And I think the his degree helps a lot. Like it's a good listener, and I'm the one pushing to do like, well, like with Topline, I was like, hey, let's do this. Or new softwares to at first he would be hesitant and be like, this is a waste of time, this and that. But then once we incorporate it, he's like, oh, we're saving so much time. We're being more efficient. So I think like I like the technology part. I like the mainstreaming things. And then he obviously is good at listening and following through. So I think that has made it work for our marriage and as business partners.
Okay, that's really interesting. So just kind of pitching like Jennifer as sort of like the business and tech focused one, and Austin as sort of like the people and like relationships both between you and the employees person.
And
It made
clients.
and clients, right? That's a huge part of it as well. You sound like a great team. You mentioned Topline Pro, so I just want to sort of jump forward to like where Topline Pro entered the picture for Kramer Enterprises and how it affected the trajectory.
When did we start with them?
Well, like 2 years ago.
Has it been?
Like 2 years ago.
Okay. What was that like?
Oh, it was great from the beginning.
Yeah.
We met with Nick, I believe. And it was so
CEO.
easy. It was a very easy. I was just like sporadic. I was like, hey, I want to like know about this. And we had a meeting and like right away we signed up.
Yeah.
Because certain things that you guys have, it stood out a lot. And it's something that has helped our business tremendously.
Yeah.
So.
And we just signed on to the AI.
Yeah.
I like that. The responding. That's
the AI.
It's going. It was a little like iffy in the beginning, but now it's
we had to
going
build
good.
it up.
Yeah.
And now it's working pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really tempted to talk about that. I'm a software engineer, so I've been working pretty directly on our AI sales assistant, which I think is what you guys are talking about. What has that experience been like? Like, when did you turn it on, and how's it going so far?
I think it's only been a few weeks, right? Or time flies. Or time flies. Okay, 2 months.
Okay.
Because we have our first initial meeting and it was explaining everything. Then we had a meeting about like the questions and what to like ask, like common questions. And then there was like a trial run, and then now it's working. We're testing it out, and then now it's working because we got a few individuals to go like reach out to Austin late at night, and it's done its work.
There's some things that need to be tweaked, but it's our fault, not fault, but like the
questions.
The questions, because like AI automatically responds, how many dumpsters do you need? Do you have service? How many units do you have? But some people, the question is, hey, I need junk removed, or your truck drove through a stop sign and we're pissed off. A complaint, let's say a complaint, and it comes through, and then AI saying, oh, where's your address? How many units do you have, and how many dumpsters do you need? And they're like, yeah. So I think, but that's us. I think we need to tweak.
We need to like spend some time and like.
But it has worked pretty good, and I didn't know. And like, I guess someone had a full conversation with it, and then I didn't check, and then I saw the number come through, and I called him and I asked him all the same. He's like, I just answered that to Sally or whatever the name is on it. I was like, oh, sorry, let me talk to her. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, I think you're really gonna like the improvements that we're making. We're like currently working on making the questions sort of more tailored to like specific services that the user is requesting. Like literally working on it right now. So
nice.
That's good to hear. And we can test it out with you all. But so you have it doing the we'll move off of this in a second, but you have it doing like just off business hours. So like you field the question.
It's full time.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. All right. That's really cool to hear. And I want to talk about, because your website is like pretty beautiful. There's just like a lot of really good content. You've got like recently, like looks like you did like a whole video shoot of all the trucks, and you got drivers like smiling in the driver's seat.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah. So I guess like what role does marketing and sort of PR play for your business? Because it seems like it's a really important thing. I mean, you've got the uniforms and everything.
Mhm. That's Jen's expertise.
So that's me. So I think, well, for us, marketing it's a lot. We're in a new generation that like people will go use TikTok, Instagram, all those places in order to like find a junk removal or something, you know? So that's why we try to be a difference. I mean, we are the first generation of trash or waste management in the area. Usually everyone's like second generation or third. So we want to take advantage of our age and implement the technology that's out there, you know, like stand out. Like I said, with Topline using like being able to answer right away, we want to stand out in that aspect. And it's funny to say, I started like an Instagram, I don't know, probably like 2019, and I just posted. I was like, you know what, like it's trash. I would just post whatever. And so far, we have gotten clients. They have found us in social media. They have reached out to Austin. And then we were like, hey, how did you find us? And they were like, oh, yeah, we saw your Instagram. And one of the reasons we did like a whole, like the photo shoot and the video is because people have seen us in DC, and a lot of them are the trucks are white and with a logo. So they thought we had like one or two trucks. And they were like, oh, wait, you guys are bigger here. Like, let's talk about like giving you a bigger portfolio and stuff like that. So we want to be transparent. We want to be there for the public. And if there's like something like a complaint or something, just an easy access to like reach out to us, you know, like, oh, they couldn't find this way, they can find the other outlet to reach out.
That's the one thing I don't like about Topline, because I get so many complaints now. They know how to reach me. That's the thing I don't like.
Like, do better.
I'm kidding.
I think it's I mean, I think your marketing is working. Like you go to your site and it's very like I think potential clients can get to know you face to face before they even talk to you or meet you. They see who you two are, that you're, you know, running the business together. The, you know, the fleet of trucks, the logo, the branding, it's all very cohesive. And I'm willing to bet that like even customers that aren't saying like, oh, we found you through Instagram or whatever, like they're checking out your business like they would look at reviews and like making a judgment of who you are and what you do. So I feel like it's probably like a good part of your success. And I think yeah, it's really, I mean, it looks really good. I
mean, every time I search for someone or a company, I reach out online what they're posting, like their before and after or anything, you know, like any reviews before I hire them. So that's why I try to put myself in that perspective. Like, okay, like why not? If someone's looking for a new waste management company, even though they have had a big experience with a previous one, what makes us different? Like, why are we different? So, I mean, it's obviously it's a dangerous thing because it's easily a way for someone to like bash your business. But so far, we've been pretty blessed to be very a positive outcome. I mean, we have people see our trucks and send us like pictures and like with very positive feedback. So it's very rewarding.
Definitely. I I gotta ask, there's a specific picture or set of pictures on your website that it's like kind of a glamour shot of you two. And then there's also like a Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce picture.
When that was like a thing.
That was when it was what was that, like Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, it was, I think it was the
We were just jumping into the trend and it was me.
There's a bit of a resemblance. I definitely see it like in the side by side pictures. Yeah, so it sounds like social media plays a big role. Austin, you talked about client relations, and I just want to know like what types of clients are you sort of going for right now? Are you trying to push on the bigger end now that you have like a big fleet of trucks? Are you still doing like smaller jobs as well? Just everything? Like what's the sort of strategy?
Yeah, we'll take on any size building that they have. How we do is, we work with property management companies. So once you get in with one manager, hopefully they have, let's say, 15 builders under just them. So if you get a good relationship with them, they'll slowly switch contracts. But it's hard in the waste management because the trash contracts are very locked in and they got to mess up. But luckily, these big companies, like, they really do mess up. They don't answer their phone, So I think people in the district are very fed up, and that's why we're coming in. Everyone in our office, they always respond in at least 10 minutes, you know. Um, but we're looking for big I mean, the problem is DC. I don't know where are you guys at? Are you up in New York or?
We're New York and Boston, so I'm in Boston.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah. So the buildings are a lot bigger there. I wish we had big buildings like that. But DC, we can only, I think, what is it, 10 stories or something? So, like, big units would be 400 or 500 unit buildings. That's pretty good. Some are 4 unit. So we'll do any range. Yeah.
Do you have trouble like covering all that space?
Yeah. So right now, like, waste management side, we're just doing the district, DC.
Okay.
For roll off and junk, we do Maryland and Virginia too. But for trash, we want to focus and get really condensed. So like if we just stay in DC right now and grow, we can be really, really dense, and then we can start spreading out to Maryland and Virginia. Because if I have a truck going to Virginia, and then it's just a way you're not making any money. So unless you have a lot of properties in that area. So we're just focused right now really on DC for the trash and recycling.
Got it.
Mhm.
And is there any plan to like expand the fleet at all? Or how many trucks did you say you had?
The one that they just built, that'll be 15.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And
But
when did you guys get that, like make that purchase? Recently?
yeah, they've been building it for the past 5 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
So were you able to expand business a lot once that order came through?
Once that comes, then we can, yeah. Well, the problem is I keep, pushing, pushing, pushing. And then Jen's like, these guys are getting killed. And then I buy another truck. That's pretty much, yeah. But she's really good at, hey, calm down. And I'm just addicted. I told you I'm addicted. So.
Cool.
But yes, we're trying to expand, and we're trying to buy a property right now. Once that's settled, hopefully this summer, then we can start getting into the bigger front loader trucks. Because right now our trucks pick up from the back. Rear loader, it's real good in DC. But those big commercial front loader trucks, that'll be the next step for us, and we can start growing in that. Yeah.
So the property would be like for parking and like warehousey type
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep. Garage and little office. Yeah.
Got it.
Mhm.
Are you currently running out of like a smaller property or like
Yeah, we're parking out almost sometimes outside the gate because we can't park. That's why we're trying to expand into a bigger property. Yeah.
yeah, makes sense. And how many employees work with you all?
I don't know. What do we have? 40?
46.
46?
46.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
How do you manage all of them?
Well, we have a dispatcher,
Mhm.
and she handles a lot with the drivers
Junk calls.
and junk calls. She's taking the junk calls too, and there are problems with the contracts. And then we have Antonio, who he's on the field and he drives around. He deals with all the guys in the morning. And he's like how I was. I used to be Antonio, always at the field, and now he's helped me worry about the office more. And I think that's really helped us grow a lot because I can actually be focused in the office. And then we have Hallie, our office manager, she was actually in the waste management business for 40 years in DC. The company she worked for got bought out by Republic.
Mm.
Public Services bought them out in DC. So she retired kind of. And then a manager said, hey, Hallie, she retired, but maybe she'd want to come back, blah, blah, blah. And I called her and she thought it was interesting. And now she's working with us. But that kind of helped us a lot too with Republic buying Tinleytown. Tinleytown pretty much took over the whole city. They were just, the whole thing. Once a big company comes in and buys it, everyone hates the big chains. So then obviously that kind of helped us a lot when that happened.
Yeah.
To step in. That helped a
Is
lot.
is it difficult to delegate some of these responsibilities, especially like when the company like has your name on it and you've both been such a like a crucial part of it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The biggest part was getting the first driver, in my opinion.
Yes.
Because I always drove. And to
For
have someone else
years.
to have someone else drive, not that it wasn't a relief because it is a pain, but and I respect that job. It's not easy. So it's just a lot. I think that was the biggest hurdle. Once I did that, that just opened my mind to a whole nother thinking of, wow, I can really, if I delegate more, we can grow this into something special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has it gotten easier as you've delegated more and more over the years?
No,
Or
not good.
okay.
Yeah, life
It's
is,
certain
yeah,
aspects. I
yeah,
mean, you just have to, I mean, it's a risk at all times. I mean,
yeah.
if you give
Too much power.
too much power to someone, they can, run with it. So I think we're always trying to be on top of everyone and figure out like, okay, like one, customer service is key. Like that's what we have grown because we've been very personal with individuals and we answer the phone. So I think that, I mean, if we hear a small complaint, we jump on it like right away, instead of like ignoring it. So it's hard. It's a lot of stress because we have built something, and you're always afraid, like, what if it just crumbled down as fast as it grew, So, that's what we try to do, like team meetings and be cautious with every aspect, like who we hire and try to train them, like go like after a certain months and be like, okay, so how are they doing and what is their responsibilities and how can we like help them to do better. So, and like that's why I said like we find softwares in order to like help them as well. Like I'm not gonna expect you to just know everything when it's a new position. You probably never done this before, but we try to teach them, like send them videos. Like if they're struggling with something new that we incorporated, I try to send them videos or like show them how it's done, and we sit down with them to teach them. So, and then if something happens and it was probably that person's scope, we like talk to them, be like, hey, we kind of expect this from you. Let's work on this next time. So, like I mentioned before, communication, we truly try to be open and be kind. Like everyone is, it's work. It's hard. You can't be 110% every single day.
So you're talking about like the training process for employees and like sending videos. Is there a specific software that you're using for like training materials, or are these videos that you've made and recorded yourselves over the course of doing all this work before?
No, we've just done one-on-one with the person.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's been the first time like hiring a dispatcher. She's still, let's say, hired. So we just sat down with her and work on it. And if something that we can't understand, we just call the software company and work together. That way it's easier. Like some people are very visual and hands-on. So I think that's better than just throwing them a video and just sitting there for hours and watching it.
But I think that have joined us, I always tell Jen that I think it's better to have people that are better than you working with us, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I want someone that can do it better than me,
Yeah.
because then like Hallie that we brought in, like she knew trash way better than me. I think you can't really grow unless you have people that are really really, really smart and experienced. So
Yes.
we really value our team. They're really good. Even all of our drivers, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
really, everyone
show up.
show up. Everyone's just really good. So I think that's really, really good key.
Yeah, I mean, having trust in your team, super
Yeah,
important.
you
Like,
got, yeah, you got to, yeah.
especially when your name is on the business, and it's like,
Oh,
you have, at the end of the day, it's your business, and it's like it's on you if something goes wrong or someone has a bad experience. So
No, for
I
mhm.
can
sure.
imagine that's extremely important. What's the sort of split in your like the different services you offer, like what percentage of your business sort of falls into each, like roughly? I don't need an exact figure.
Yeah, I think our waste management side is probably like, I would say 85% now.
Okay.
Junk is maybe 10, and then the others roll off. We just started roll off. It's been a year now.
Like a year and a half.
Wow, year and a
Yeah.
half. So we started roll off about a year and a half ago with one truck. Now we got 3 of them, and that's like our new baby that we're trying to grow into.
Why are you trying to grow that specifically?
I think because I guess in waste management, if you go to a trash company, you want them to offer everything. You want front loader, rear loader, roll off. It kind of goes together. If you can
Okay.
offer all three, I think you can get bigger clients because you can offer them a whole package. Hey, we don't just do one thing, we can do all 3 things for you. That's why a lot of these big trash companies, they start their own landfill. And because then they're saying, hey, we can do whatever you need.
Yeah.
You can dump at our facility, we can give you roll off, trash, front loader. So I think I just want to be able to be like, hey, you call us, okay, what do you need? And at least the waste situation, we can try to help you out.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. That sounds like a good like strategy moving forward. Get some
Mhm.
bigger clients. Like
Yeah.
hopefully there's not too many people that you're talking to where they're like, "Hey, do you do this?" And you're like, "Not really," and then they go with someone else. But
With the
sounds
front
like you.
loader, it does happen almost every day because front loader is really everywhere. So that really that's why it'll be the next step. Jen wants me to wait because it's very expensive, but
Got it. Yeah, there's opportunity out there, I guess. Spend
yeah.
money to make money.
Yeah.
Don't take it from me. I'm not a business owner, so. Um, okay, so before we sign off, I really want to know if you have advice for specifically couples who are in business together. I mean, you talked about communication. Like how would you sort of like soundbite the that advice like from all the experience that you've had running this together?
Communication. Um, be ethical about it, like honest, like speak with your partner, even if it's like we have this thing. I am more like, well, the business side of me, I'm more cautious. He's the big risk taker. So when he's trying to make a big decision, no matter how crazy it is, he will come to me and be like, hey, this is what's going on. And then we talk about numbers, we see the logistic of it, and then we end up agreeing with it. So I think just communicating with one another, and then if it's at one point, like, because it can be overwhelming. I mean, we're not just a partner, business partners, and then like parents. So we have to like have time for like everything. And I think communicating like, okay, it's time to like spend some time with our kids. It's time to like do certain things, because sometimes you can work for hours, it's not like a 9 to 5 thing. It's almost all day. So making those boundaries. I mean, we like to travel, and I think that's our thing to escape from our stress,
Mm.
um, and to cope with like one another and make memories with our family. But just communicating. I mean, it's hard.
Communication.
Yeah, it's hard. But it's if I'm upset, I will bring it up no matter how hard the conversation is going to be. Just bring it up and talk about it because it's not going to solve anything by staying to myself and expecting him to read my emotions. And then go for it. I mean, it's not impossible. A lot of people fear
Mm.
that working with your partner, it's all negative. It's really not. It gives the woman understanding why you're so busy. You see your partner, you're like, okay, I understand now why the bank account is at this percentage, because there were all these expenses instead of expecting like all this money to be like, you can do whatever you want. No, it's not like that. Like the business money is a business money. And when you have to spend, there's going to be good days and bad days, but be supportive for the bad days. So I think that's what, if both partners are involved, it helps a lot. Anything to add?
Expect to argue, but don't get discouraged on the argument. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that. I like the way that you brought up like a couple things. Like it sounds like argument and disagreement is like a very healthy and natural part of what you two are doing together. Like in running a business, like you've specialized into slightly different sort of like areas of focus, and those are like naturally going to be at odds sometimes. One person may want to be a bit more cautious, one person may want to be a bit more aggressive, and those are healthy conversations to have between business owners. And it sounds like working through them is a big, and coming to an agreement is a big part of things. Um, I really also like, what you said about boundaries. Um, I imagine that that's probably the one of the hardest parts is not bringing up, work stuff when you're trying to have dinner or be parents. But it almost sounds like Jennifer, what you were describing is like a balance that comes from the fact that you're both doing all of these jobs. You're both parents, you're both business owners, and you're both people who are in a relationship and want to spend time on that or with your kids sometimes. And I don't think anyone would come away from this episode thinking that it's all bad. I think
Oh, no.
you're showing a very healthy face to it, and I really appreciate that. Yeah. Anything else before we sign off?
No,
Good.
I think we're good. We're
Yeah.
very thankful for this opportunity.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And thanks,
I'm really
Topline.
happy you came on. Yeah.
Yeah, we were good with Topline.
Yeah, we
So
are happy with it.
very easy to use. I mean, any changes I want to make, I just reach out to you guys and you guys make it happen.
Like I said, I'm a software engineer when I'm not running the podcast, so that's a good review for me.
Well, like, as busy as we are, I love the fact that I can, well, one, like going, I've told so many people like who are starting their business and they said like a crazy number to start their website or to buy their website. It's like, no, you don't have to spend that much. Like reach out to this company. And I'm like, you can literally request someone a review. You can do all these things like the invoicing, like all the payments, like my favorite thing is the posting. I can schedule things throughout the week and then it will go to like Google, Facebook, Instagram. I will wish you guys would do LinkedIn, but one day. So it helps a lot to just as a one place and just first all those posts in different places instead of like posting and spending more time. So very thankful for you guys.
That's great. Hopefully, Topline Pro has allowed you to like have a couple dinners out or a vacation at some point and spend some time together. That would make me very happy. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast. This was such a fun conversation to have with both of you. So I really appreciate you making the time. I know things are busy. Jennifer Austin, that's Kramer Enterprises. Thank you so much for coming on the show and have a good rest of your day.